Welcome back to the final part of our mini-series of the Gallaudet murders. My name is Breezy, and if you notice, this mini-series I kind of been doing like an off-camera because I look like crap if I'm being honest with you guys, and I got a little sinus cold going on, so you have to excuse that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and finish up our mini-series. Shall we? Um, Now, as far as the criminal case against Mesa, the prosecutors presented the most arrest videotape confession, in which he had been disturbingly clear that Mesa had targeted Eric because of his cerebral palsy. He had figured that the boy would be weak. Not only that, he also would open up his belongings to his space. Had Mesa had practiced going to Eric's room to see if he could sneak in without being noticed. Then he did go, and one night, from behind, he grabbed Eric, choked him, and squeezed him to the floor. Mesa then used the chair to beat him repeatedly until it was clear that he was dead. Then Mesa rifled up through the then he rifled up through the unlocked desk drawers and found his debit card. He also went out the next day to use it to purchase him um items for him and his girlfriend. Not long after, Mesa considered killing his roommate, but changed his mind when he thought he was too obviously pointing a finger at him. And he looked at someone else, and he did steal the roommate's credit card. Now after Christmas, Mesa would return, was running out of money, and he noticed that Benjamin Werner lived alone on the fourth floor, and that he learned of the money. Mesa next targeted Benjamin. Since he was larger than Eric seemed, this time Mesa armed himself with a knife. Benjamin put in a fierce struggle, and then Mesa stabbed him 17 times, escaping the room. With such haste, after Benjamin died, he left a few incriminating items behind, including the knife. Mesa switched it out, but he did not hear any mention of his death until the next day. He decided not to he decided to return to his room, grab his possessions and Benjamin's checkbook. He put out the bloody jacket and the knife into a bag and dumped it in the trash can. He failed to spot he failed to spot or clean up the blood trail after he left. He also neglected to wipe down the surfaces where he left a few fingerprints. Thus he was never caught, he had never confessed out of guilt, and he had to allow the school community and some peace of mind. He probably thought of his generous impulse was count him as a favor. According to one reporter, throughout the confession, he alternated between being disturbed at his actions and being indifferent. At the time, he even placed his fast food order. Three psychiatrists who examined Mesa for prosecution found him to be depressed and antisocial, but sane and malingering his mental illness. But defense experts would later say that he suffered from a rare condition known as intermittent explosive disorder, and therefore he could not control his actions. Basically, what intermittent explosive disorder is impulse control disorder in which a person fails to resist aggressive impulses that are out of proportion to the provoking situation, and the person who describes the situation as being participated by significant tension or rage. Their thoughts race, their body tingles or tighten, they feel overwhelmed and need to act out. Once they do, this the episode results in a sharp decline of arousal and feeling of relief. Now, experts talked about Mesa's childhood difficulties with a father who had beaten him over his inability to communicate. The result was that he would fly into uncontrollable fits of rage and do terrible things. He also felt distant from his family, Yet Mesa was not about to let experts speak for him. He had his own card to play, and to do so, he took to stand in his own defense. Testifying via interpreter, he claimed that he was unable to stop him from killing the two other boys. He had been unable to stop himself from killing the two other boys. He had the devil on his shoulder urging him to get money, an angel telling him to resist the devil. The cartoonish rendition of the voices in my head probably swayed a few who heard it. In fact, the death in it was a far cry from murder. So if so, the devil was urging him to steal. That did not explain the rest of his actions. Mesa further explained the nature of his experience and that he also had a pair of hands and a glove, black leather. He signed a few commands to commit the murders. He said he would go and say, "I felt as if there was more power than I am." He identified his hands as those as a professional wrestler known as the Undertaker. But he also said that he had been signing to him since childhood. After their instigation, um, he had also used a baseball bat to bludgeon the family car and her kittens until they were dead. Cat, not cars. The hands had shown exactly what Eric would had to kill both Benjamin and to fight the evil hands. He had been called and not have to kill again. He went to the bank. He knew he had a surveillance camera to catch Benjamin's check, but Hans himself had already directed him to kill both the lead prosecutor and himself. After the reservation, the judge pointed out that he had not obeyed his hands because he had not been done what they asked. Not yet, he replied quickly. In the end, his devil hands defense would not prevail. Neither did the diagnosis of intermittent explosive disorder. The jury deliberated after 3 hours and found him guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder. The boy, once named by his classmates as most likely to be rich, was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He showed no expression as he learned his fate via interpreter. His family was absent, and he had received notification too late to get to the courtroom. In July, Mesa was sentenced to life without parole. Bond said that he would appeal based on the fact that Messer had not understood his rights, and when he gave the confession, in addition, it was not clear if the police interpreters had accurately communicated their questions to Messer. The appeal is pending. After the trial, Eric's father commented that it was his it was the right verdict, and Benjamin's mom said that she was happy with this resolution. It did little to alleviate the pain of her loss, and Thomas Mitch filed a lawsuit for false arrest and defamation of character. Cogswell Hall was converted from a dorm to a general use building. A memorial was set up to honor the victims, and it inspired an episode of CSI, a crime scene investigation in which the world of death were explored. Alright, that's it for this mini series. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.